Welcome to Student Connections, where students connect with their community.
Hi, welcome to Student Connections. I'm Carly Agostino, here with Mayor Dan Damman. We're going to talk about the city of Marysville. Thanks for coming in, Mayor.
Oh, thanks for inviting me.
We want to know, the old Viking Lanes was recently torn down. Are there any plans for the new building to be built where it stood?
So the building was purchased by a private investor. We've been in communication with that investor. They're playing that one, what I say, a little bit close to the vest. So we've had some communication about what they are going to do there. What I can tell you is it is going to be developed. I can't tell you exactly what's going to be there, but I think in short order you'll see some progress on that site.
Okay. We want to know, how is the cleanup process going for the old Edison plant?
Slow but sure. When they knocked the building down back in November, the time frame to have the site cleaned was around the April period. We have to be cognizant, we have to remember we have frost laws on so they can haul heavy material only during certain times. And right now, as you can see if you've driven by the site or if you've looked at the site, they are separating the materials. So I have full faith in the crew over there, and I think that the site will probably, at least the pile of rubble, if you will, from the DTE plant will be removed from the site by April or May. And then after that, then they will start to recondition the ground itself.
I've definitely seen a difference when I drive by. With that being said, what are the future plans of the area where the plant once stood?
Well, the goal is to have what we call mixed-use destination. We're looking to have a maybe 5 or 6 story hotel with condominiums mixed in on the top only. So not a whole condominium unit, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Also with a shopping promenade, which would mean a town square type of feel, shops, boutique type of shops, unique type of shopping. But we want that area to be a place where people want to go, and not just people from Marysville or St. Clair County, but people from out of town as well, kind of a destination away from their home that's still a reasonable distance. We are also looking to put a marina on the property. We don't have a marina. We are a waterfront community without a marina, and that is one of our goals as well.
I think that would definitely be beneficial. There's a lot of improvements being made to the city's waterfront. Are there any other changes that are going to be made this year?
We're kind of wrapping up the waterfront right now. We've spent a lot of time, we've been awarded a lot of grant money for the waterfront. We've spent a lot of time, years, making some transition down there. I think you're going to see the finishing touches on the area near the boat launch and Chrysler Beach. There will be the bathrooms and the fish cleaning station, and all of that will be put into place in the next couple of weeks here. That should be done. And then they'll finish the improvements to the parking lot behind the water plant. Other than that, the last real key piece to that puzzle is a fishing pier, and that's something that we're working on. We had applied for grants for that. We've been turned down 3 times for grants for that. And we're working with DTE, actually. There's a fishing pier on the DTE site that we're trying to get moved over. Whether or not that happens, there's some federal regulations that we would have to get through first. But we're working on that. But essentially, I think the last piece of that puzzle will be a fishing pier, and I don't know when that happens. The rest of it will be done this year.
I think the fishing pier would be beneficial for our community. There's word that someone bought the shopping center on Gratiot where like the old Dollar General used to be. Can you share any plans for that site?
I can confirm that it was sold. I can tell you that Mr. Fernandez, the city manager, and I had some meetings, and we helped that sale along. We found that getting that property to a new owner would be beneficial. And you know, it's kind of the chicken or the egg with that particular parcel. Somebody has to move in there first to bring other stores or other residents in there that want to occupy that space. I think if we're able to put on the DTE property what it is that we want to do there, I think that will assist in filling up that particular plaza. But there's many moving parts to that. But I know that the new owner is working diligently. I know that the new owner is working very diligently to try to get those spaces occupied.
I think it would be cool if like we could see all the stores filled up after maybe the plant like works out.
You and me both. I mean, that's been, you know, filling up the empty storefronts on Gratiot. When I took my job as mayor, that was one of the first conversations I had with our city managers. We have to improve the business environment, not only for existing businesses, but we have to be able to draw new businesses in as well. And like I stated, there's many moving parts to that, but one of the key components is what we have in existing storefronts, those have to be filled up.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back after these short messages.
My name is Blake. I received a heart transplant when I was 2 weeks old. I play defense for the Red Hot Tornadoes. Sometimes my heart starts pounding like faster and faster as I go. I know I have someone else's heart inside me. It makes me feel happy because someone was generous enough to give me a second chance to live.
This gift of life was made possible by an organ donor. Imagine what you could make possible. Sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov.
They've stormed beaches and freed countries. They've raised our flag and our hope. They've been called leathernecks. They've been called devil dogs. But above all, they're called Marines.
Welcome back to Student Connections. I'm Carly Augustino here with Mayor Damman. The golf course has been undergoing a lot of construction. Is there any more work to be done, or is it finished?
A little bit. So what you're looking at the golf course is a $2.6 million in total grant to revitalize the Cuttle Creek. And part of that was a pumping station. There's about $250,000 of a grant that we received to put in a brand new pumping station. What that means is that water will be drawn in from the St. Clair River, and that will be used to irrigate the entire golf course. So there's some finishing touches on that, and then there's some plantings that still need to be done on the original, $2.4 million grant. That is the Cuttle Creek itself. And when that's done, that renovation will be done. But the golf course is always a work in progress. We've always got things going on down there, and it's always a work in progress.
I think that the irrigation will be more efficient, helping not cost as much with the water prices and stuff.
Well, and let me add to that, what we used to do is we used to draw water out of one of the main ponds, and one of the problems with that is it had a lot of silt and sand in it. So we were constantly replacing the sprinkler heads because they would get the sand buildup and it would wear them out. With drawing water from the St. Clair River and having clean piping all the way through, I think we've alleviated that problem, so we shouldn't run into that anymore. So there should be a big cost savings to that.
That would definitely be helpful. As the police vehicles begin to become dated, are there conversions of the makes or models?
What I have to hand it to city administration and city council because we really keep tuned in to our police departments and our other departments. And in the situation that we had before, we used to, our cruisers were Dodge Chargers. It's a nice vehicle, but they were a little bit tight. Once you outfit those cruisers with the computers and all of the other materials that our police officers need to do their jobs, it's a very tight space. So what we're moving to are, they're called pursuit-rated Tahoes. So we're moving from sedans, four-door sedans, to Chevy Tahoes. They're pursuit-rated, which means they sit just a little bit lower to the ground than a regular Tahoe that you would buy off the lot. But eventually, I could see that our entire fleet will be modified to pursuit-rated Tahoes.
I've seen a few of them, one of them maybe driving around Marysville.
None of them behind you, though, right?
No.
Okay, good.
In November, voters rejected the proposal of the new City Hall and Rec Department. What do you see happening next?
Well, we've already started to address that. That's a great question. We have to do something. We can't sit back and do nothing is the other way to say that. So we've started to investigate two different proposals. One is a absolute bare bones scaled down version of a new City Hall with a museum wing component to that, just a small, nothing like what we had asked the voters about. And the other thing what we're going to do is we're going to compare that to the cost of really retrofitting the existing City Hall and repairing that up to the standards that it needs to be. And we'll be able to do a cost benefit analysis against those two projects and see where we land. But You know, we're not going to go through with the municipal campus. The voters were not behind that. That will not happen, but we can't stay with the infrastructure that we currently have because it's just not suiting our needs. So we're examining alternatives, and I would say by year's end we'll probably have some forward movement on what we're going to do.
I hope that results well for you.
Me too.
Road construction has been a hot topic in Lansing and all around the state. How are we keeping up on the road maintenance?
Better than most. Last year we were able to put about $1.8 million into our roads. This year we're projected about 1.4 to 1.5. And I have to hand it to prior city administration and prior city council going back years to be able to foresee that roads and infrastructure is going to be an issue. And the bottom line is we can't rely on Lansing to fix our roads. And that's something that we've been cognizant of, that's something that we realize. So we're doing it ourselves. One of the things we did is we sent our DPW workers to school for what's called PASER. And PASER is a class and a program that allows them to evaluate the roads ourselves. So we can do this in-house, which is a huge cost-saving measure. And by doing that, you can take a look at the life of a road and determine where your tax dollars are best going to be spent. And so that's been able to help us reevaluate all of our roads. And then we inch forward. We fix what we can when we can. And you know, we hope that there are some modifications in Lansing that help to assist not only us, but all municipalities and counties with roads. But we know that at least for the next little while, we're on our own.
I know that my road was fixed last year, and we definitely like it a lot better because it was a mess before.
Yeah, and there's a lot of roads that are a mess, and we're trying to get to those, and we're taking the highest priority first, the roads that are in the worst condition first, and we're trying to fix those. And then the ones that are kind of in the medium condition, if we can do some repair to those to stretch them out for another 10 years, that's what we're trying to accomplish with those.
Okay. With a new member on City Council, what goals do you have for the upcoming years that you would like to share with our residents?
Well, I think you've hit on a couple of them. Infrastructure is always an issue. Roads have been an issue, I think, since we took over. The business climate is certainly an issue. City Hall and what we do with that and how that affects our recreation programs is also another hot topic. I will tell you that probably the two most pressing issues right now are the pension programs and ensuring that we have adequate funding for our pensions. And the second, obviously, big issue in the city of Marysville is the rebuilding of the DTE site. So that will be enough to keep us busy, but that's aside from just, the regular day-to-day that we try to accomplish great feats for our citizens every day.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have talked about the new DTE site and have always been wondering about what's going to happen next. What do you like most about serving the residents of the city of Marysville?
Wow. Being mayor has been a very humbling experience for me. I think that I bring some things to the table that can benefit the city, and quite frankly, I love to serve. I love to be a part of something that helps generate momentum, helps create a better place to live for everybody, and that's why I do it.
That's all the questions that we have for you. There seems to be a lot of changes to come this year in Marysville. Thanks for tuning in to Student Connections. I'm Carly Agostino with the Marysville Mayor, Mr. Damman, on M6, your hometown station.